He lost a kickboxing match to Alex Pereira.
Yeah, that's a different Alex Pereira. That's the he lost 2 kickboxing matches to Alex Pereira. One of them was close. One he got knocked out. But the one he
Israel did?
Yeah, one of them he was like beating his ass, then he got knocked out. One of them he lost like a close fight, I think.
Oh yeah, it does say KO. Huh.
That's the one where John Jones put up the picture of him. Because Israel,
didn't see that.
They had a Twitter exchange. So Israel put up a picture of John Jones, the mugshot, and he says, "Hey, try to find a picture of this of me online." So John Jones put up a picture of Israel Adesanya knocked out on the canvas, and says, "Try to find a picture of me like this online."
Hey,
it's pretty good.
John Jones won that exchange
For sure. Unanimous decision.
Oh no, that's a knockout. That's a knockout. I'd much rather have a mugshot. Take me to jail. Give me.
Yeah.
Don't get me pictures of me knocked out. All right, everybody, we're here with my head jiu-jitsu coach. Used to be Alan Belcher MMA, now American Top Team.
That's right.
BJJ black belt, Mike Sanford. Tell us where you got your black belt and your lineage and all of that.
Sure thing, man. It's great to be here. I started jiu-jitsu up in New York under Master Mansour, and I ended up moving to Florida a couple years later and training with Daniel Moraes. And I got my black belt from Daniel Moraes, along with the rest of my belts besides blue. And Daniel hooked me up with Alan. He was training Alan for a couple fights. Alan was supposed to be fighting Damian Maia, actually. They were going to have a main event. It was going to be Alan's first main event, and that was going to be in Brazil. So Alan went down to Brazil to train with Daniel for the fight. They didn't have anyone to teach jiu-jitsu here. Alan ended up flying me out to do it, and then he hired me on full-time. After that, I've been here ever since. So,
what belt were you then?
I was a purple belt. So I got my brown belt right after that, and then black belt a couple years later.
You moved down here way before me, so you moved not straight from New York because you went down to Florida, but so you'd been in the South for a little while. But I moved down here in 2016. I remember Tyler Hill had been trying to. Me and him were long time training partners. He kept telling me, it's like, man, you need to move down here. We got Jason Knight's in the UFC. Alan used to be in the UFC and all this, and kept trying to talk me into it. And I was like, man, at the time I had a really good job. I was a pulmonary tech, manager of a pulmonary company, and I would literally just travel between hospitals and clinics and everything. Not really even having to work, just make sure they're doing everything right. They'd put me up in a hotel. I'd go to Vicksburg and go to the casino at night after I got done with all my work, go back to the hotel and go to sleep, wake up the next morning, be there, and then head out and just drive. And some days I didn't work at all as long as everybody's doing everything right. So I was like, why would I quit this job when I'm making really good money and then go down here and not make anything? And he was like, man, I know, but you'll be able to, I think you can make it from around here and everything. It's like, of course, he wanted to make it too. And he was like, we can make it from here. And I was like, no. And then I fought a guy, Thomas Vasquez. He was 8-2 at the time, 8-3, I believe, 8-2, 8-3, somewhere around there. And he just got an out of Bellator. His only losses were in Bellator. And I remember going on Tapology and looking at the odds. It was like minus 900 for him to win, and I think it was like plus 550 or something for me. And I was like, all right. Well, I went out there and I whooped the dude's ass. Super cool dude. We talked afterwards and everything, but went out there, whooped his ass, and then Tyler had driven up from the coast that weekend and came and cornered me. And he's like, man, you look good. We need to get you to move down to the coast and everything. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. And literally decided it the next day. We went, well, after that fight, I had all these shirts made, and I had a bunch of people come back over to the house. I was sponsored by one of the Budweiser companies down here. So they gave me a free keg and a bunch of stuff. We all went back home and partied and played beer pong and stuff. And then the next morning he was like trying to talk me into it, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And I told my boss, and he was like, yeah, if you ever need a job, you can come back up here and you'll get your job. I was like, I can only fight for so long as my body will let me do it, but I can do this job for the rest of my life if I need to. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. If you need to go do that, I understand. And moved down here. And then I think it was like a month after, me and Jason were training a bunch, and he asked me to start cornering him when he had his fight against Jim Allers. He'd already had his first UFC fight against Kawajiri, yeah. And he looked good that fight in the beginning. I thought he was going to finish him with that triangle.
Yeah.
But
started off well.
He asked me to start cornering him, and I guess it's kind of how I got my foot in the door. But I wasn't doing it so that I can get into the UFC off of that. I was trying to help him, and he looked good every fight that I helped him get ready for, and he just kept asking me to do it, and we kept going, and it eventually turned into that. But you were there every time in the corner too. We'd go, where all did we go?
That was Chicago was the first one, right? So
Chicago was the first one at the Bulls Stadium.
Did you go to Australia? Dan Hooker?
I didn't get to go to Australia, so you got to go to Australia. You got to go to a lot of places I didn't get to go.
But you went to Denver. I didn't go to Denver. That was I had to corner. I'd already promised Emily. She was doing her first super fight. One of the kids. She was like 11 or 12, and she got this super fight, and I think it was somewhere in Texas. And it was her first one. I promised her I'd be there to corner her. And then Jason booked a last-minute fight against Alex Caceres. So it was the same day, so I couldn't go to that one.
No, yeah. So I think that's the only one that you weren't at that I was at. But I know for a fact I went to Chicago was the first. Then he fought Dan Hooker, who turned out to be a motherfucking monster. And still is, and he made Dan Hooker look like shit.
Tyler called that one.
No, Tyler
called Dan Hooker becoming a monster, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, he told us, he was like, man, I can't believe, he was telling us, like, I can't believe they're giving Jason that fight and all this. Like, that dude's a beast. And he's so much, like, he's bigger than me. And he doesn't need to take that fight. And Alan told him, he's like, man, every UFC fight's a tough fight. And I remember that going in my mind. I still took that with me when I was in the UFC. But it's like, every fight's a tough fight in the UFC. You're not going to get any give me. So he took that fight, and man, he made Dan Hooker look like shit. And after that, Dan Hooker went on a run. Like, 5 or 6 fight win streak against good people. Really put on good shows. What he fought Paul Felder and put on a show. Did he fight Dustin Poirier? Didn't they fight?
He fought Poirier. He barely lost that fight.
Yeah.
Like, barely lost.
Barely lost to Felder, or did he pull
Felder, he barely won.
Both. I mean, but those are two top 5 guys.
Yeah,
for
very
sure.
close fights.
So, and Jason made him look like he was nothing. And it was just like, and it's just the style. Those guys are like really technical and do this and that. Jason's just in your face. And some people can't handle that.
Yeah, different styles make the fight, man. They really do.
100%. And then after that, he fought who?
That's when he fought Caceres next. They gave him that Caceres fight last minute.
Oh, yeah. And I was there, and he got that rear naked choke finish, second round.
And we drilled that all right after the Hooker fight because he had Hooker in a rear naked choke the whole time.
Yeah.
And Hooker defended it all. So we drilled that rear naked choke like crazy right after that fight. Then he gets his last minute fight and nails it.
Yeah, so he did that against Hooker and never got the finish, but he got that on Alex Caceres, and he got a bonus for that, did he not?
Yeah, you got a performance of the night bonus on that one.
So he got a bonus for Jim Allers. Then he got a bonus. We thought he should have got a boner. Yeah. He probably did while he had his back.
That's why he didn't want to finish it.
That's why he didn't want to finish it. He just wanted to make it last. You feel that in your back, don't you? It's probably whispering in his ear. You feel that in your back, don't you? I'll take you home tonight.
3 hooks.
But we thought he should have got the bonus against Dan Hooker. And then he got one against Alex. And then who did he fight? Because then the competition started getting even steeper. And he still got another win.
Chaz Skelly.
Chaz Skelly, yeah. Chaz was what? Top 10? Almost top 10? Or almost top 15?
Yeah, him and Jason were both kind of on the verge because they'd both beaten gatekeepers. Skelly only loss was like kind of questionable. He like pretty much knocked out Mirsad Bektik. Remember that? Like,
yeah.
But it was an illegal knee, so they kind of had to restart it. It was weird fight, but Chaz was on everybody's radar, so that was a big fight at the time. And that's what got Jason in the top 15.
No, yeah. So Chaz, he went out there. This is in Dallas. What card? The UFC 2 what?
That was in Dallas, was UFC 211.
Dallas, and him and Chase both fought in Dallas. Same card, 1738.
That's right, 1738. That was the room number, by the way.
So a little joke on that is, I can't remember what the room number was. I couldn't remember then either, but it was something close to 1738, and that was right when that song came out, and it was like 15 something. I think it ended with like a 38 or something, and I just kept saying that the whole time. And we got back one night from the bar, and I was like, fuck, I can't remember my room number. And I had to go downstairs and like, we can't let you in because, and Jason and them wouldn't answer the phone because they were all sleeping. It was probably like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I couldn't figure out my room number, so I was stuck downstairs for like an hour and a half until I finally got one of them to answer the phone. But that's the whole 1738 story.
Full disclosure, I kept telling him to stop saying 1738 because I knew he was going to forget the room number. And then he would say, oh, yeah, it's 1738. Sure enough, ends up sleeping in the lobby.
Anyways, well, we had Bill Cooper come down that week too.
Yeah,
he came and helped him get ready for that because Chaz is a wrestler. But so Bill was there all week, and he was helping Jason, and then Chase pretty much doing his own thing. Of course, we hung out with him and everything, but Chase is kind of like a loner with that. But
one man wolf pack.
Yeah. But we'd be in the room playing Mario Kart and everything on the Switch, and we'd literally do that until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then go to sleep, wake up, and train and cut weight and do all this. And then he gets to fight Chaz. And then finishes him. He looked real good in the first round. In this fight, he fought the entire fight southpaw because his theory was that Chaz has a harder time taking down southpaws, and Jason has better takedown defense as a southpaw. So we trained the whole camp southpaw. I was like, I'll hold for you, and we'll get everything ready for this. And he's like, yeah, man, I'd like that instead of just doing orthodox. And it ended up working out for him, which is crazy. But he fought the whole fight southpaw, was piecing them up from southpaw. I don't think Chaz took him down any. He ended up finishing him with an arm bar, and he broke his arm in the first round.
Yeah, there was some. He got him down once, but it was Jason would hurt him and get right back up.
Oh yeah, that's when he was using his rubber guard, and that's when he hurt his arm.
Yeah, he went right to an arm bar on the fence and broke his arm. It was kind of subtle because it happened so fast. You know, it was it went under the radar a little bit, but it was powerful, and you saw it affect him the whole fight.
Oh, 100%. You could see him like he'd throw something, and then he'd pull his arm up. Mm-hmm. Crazy how much that we didn't notice at the time, or I didn't. I think you called it though. I think you said he broke his arm, but when I went back and watched the fight afterwards, and you see him like pulling his arm up and everything, and it was hard for him to defend after that. And then Jason ended up hitting him with a combo. We worked a bunch, the 2-5-2, and knocking him down and getting the finish after that. He got a bonus, and that was actually when he gave me a call out on that, and he was like, "Man, my boy Brandon's the one that helped me get ready for this, and he's going to be the next one in the UFC." And then I think his next fight, I was fighting on the contender series, so I didn't even get to corner him. I went out there all week with y'all to California, and then had to leave on fight day, Saturday, so I could be up there to do all the stuff because we had to weigh in Monday. And I asked them if I could stay and corner him and fly out right after they're cornering him. And they're like, no, we got to have you here this time and everything. Well, then I go out to Vegas. I fly out there that morning, and Tyler flies out a little later, and me and him get wasted drunk. This is on Saturday before the fight on Tuesday. Like, they didn't have our room ready and everything, and we had we were talking to the manager like, man, we need something to do. Like, we got to wait out here for 2 hours and can't put our bags anywhere. And like, oh man, we'll get you a, what do you call that thing out by the pool, cabana and all that. And man, started blowing money on blackjack, and then because they give you like a couple $100 for the week.
Oh yeah.
And I was just blowing all of that out there. Got wasted drunk. Me and him almost got into a fight in the hotel, and then like the security came up there and we just act like we were asleep. Man, craziness. And then I went out and won that fight. But no, so with all that being said, it was crazy how we went from having just Jason in the UFC to Chase coming in right after that, and I'd help Chase get ready. And then I got in there, and then from then we had like a little downtime where Jason started losing, and I had a couple losses. And then Chase had some losses, and then we all got released. Then Chase made it back, and me and Jason want to make it back now, and I'm on a 2-fight win streak now. Jason saying that he wants to do it now. I know he just watched Tyler Goodjohn fight bare knuckle this past weekend, and after that he was like pointing at me. He's like, I want to fight him. Like telling me he wants to get ready for him. I was like, I mean, if you want to. But I know his real goal is to get back to the UFC, and he's the youngest out of all of us. So, and got the biggest hype and everything behind him. So I don't doubt he can make that happen soon. But as far as a fight team, what would you like to see change or happen around here?
Well, one of the big things, I just want to make sure that we have a structured training schedule. I mean, it's one thing to do fight camps really strong, but like getting that same kind of atmosphere all year long, I think makes for a really strong team that's ready to go. Because there's a lot of last minute. I mean, like you guys don't know how to turn down last minute shit anyway, so you got to be ready all the time. So
5 of my 7 fights in the UFC were at short notice.
So I mean, that's a perfect example of why it's really valuable to be doing that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I'm working on, getting a good schedule like that going, bringing up some of these younger guys, getting them stronger so we have more strong sparring partners too, and bringing in seminars, new ways of looking at things all the time. I try to do as much research in martial arts as I can all the time. I'm always researching.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, you've already made a change with us going to American Top Team, which is huge. For one, it attracts more people to come here and train. 2, we have more affiliates now. So if I wanted to go train down in American Top Team, it's a lot easier for me to do that rather than just being like, hey, can I come down there and train? They're like, well, who are you? What do you do? And this and that. So they already know all of that. And you're bringing in who for the seminar coming up?
Oh, we got Marcos D'Amata coming out. He's really awesome, man. I've been a big fan of his game for a long time, but he's probably, I think he's the highest. I think he's the head of jiu-jitsu in American Top Team now. If not, he's one of the highest ranking guys, and he's awesome, man. He's got a phenomenal ground game.
What's his type of style like?
Oh, he's just super aggressive. Good takedowns.
So he's not going to be on
submissions.
his back at all.
He likes to be on top. Yeah, I mean he's good off his back too. But he's just he's really aggressive, exciting. Man, pull up some of his videos. He's got like a highlight reel you can watch on YouTube. He's badass.
Let me see if I can get this thing done.
I think he was really well known back when I was like an experienced white belt, blue belt in jiu-jitsu. A lot of people were talking about him, and I used to watch his highlight reels all the time.
He was already a black belt then?
If not, he was close.
How do you spell his name?
Marcos D'Amatta.
Oh, yeah. First thing that popped up. We shall see. All right, YouTube. It's trying to pull up. So he must have done MMA too because he's got some Sherdog stuff.
Yeah, he was a good fighter.
12-3. Yeah, really good record.
Yeah, he coaches a lot of the top guys from American Top Team too.
Oh, why didn't he keep fighting?
I don't know. I have to ask him.
Oh, now that I see him without the beard, I do recognize him.
Yeah, he's at all the events.
Yeah. Well,
go back to that BJJ Heroes page. I think they got a highlight reel in there.
Where's that at?
It was on Google when you pulled them up. Is that BJJ Heroes at the top there? Or what's that? No, that's a Sherdog. Yeah, there you go.
It's still not a video.
Yeah, right in there.
All right, let's see what he's got.
Yeah, this is probably old as hell too. But want to buy some Craig Jones videos?
Donna here, over here.
Hey, those guys are killing it.
Hey, they got a good video. They already put DMX in there. Huh. Oh, yeah, he's got some good guard passes.
Yeah, I used to watch all his matches when I was like a blue belt, and I was a big fan of his and a few other guys who had an aggressive style like this. I used to love that style of grappling.
Heck yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, let's see. So he's coming down. Hopefully we'll get Jason in here training. Need to get Chase back in here because he's about to be able to fight Ian soon. Yeah. I almost had a fight tomorrow, but
would have been cool.
Would have been super cool, but I got a call today and I got a text this morning from one of the promoters around here, and he's like, "What's your weight right now?" I was like, 166, and he was like, "I got this guy whose opponent backed out." I said, "What weight and what's the pay?" And of course, he didn't answer the pay, and he was like, 145. His name's Jules Scott or something around there, Jules something. And I was like, "All right, well, see if we can set it up at 55 because weigh-ins would have been today, and I'm not cutting 20 pounds today."
Tall order from not even 1 day's notice.
Yeah, a couple hours. Let me go. Yeah, Christian, let me go hop in the sauna right now. So he was like, "Well, let me ask them," and then they responded, I guess, to him, "No, we're not fighting at 55." I was like, "Tell these fools I'm a 135er," and he said, "All right, I'll talk to him," and then didn't hear anything. I said, "I guess that's a no." And he called me. He's like, "Well, if you want to, we can set up a kickboxing match, and y'all could just do 3-minute rounds and kind of put on a show. We'll call it a glorified sparring match." I said, "What am I getting paid?" He said, $600. I said, "Fuck no, Snake. You can suck my balls." And he said, "Come on, man." I was like, "Bro, I ain't fighting for $600. You couldn't pay me to come watch that fight for $600. So I guess he was like, "All right, well, I'll see what we can do." And I didn't hear anything back. So I didn't get a fight today, long story short. But I wanted to. I would have loved that. Be on a 3-fight win streak.
Yeah, man, that would have been good. It would have been a good year end. You get 3 in there like Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland got 5.
5.
In 2020. That's
Are
crazy.
they all wins this year?
Yeah, all win. 5-0 in 2020.
Was he? I could have sworn he lost one of them.
I think it was last year.
Maybe so.
What's his last loss? Pull him up. Pull him up, Jamie.
Jamie? Joe Rogan? All right, let's see. Tapology. I'm already on Tapology.
He looked amazing last weekend.
No, I honestly didn't expect him to beat Jacare.
Dude, I didn't either. I knew he was good. I did not think he was that good.
You are right. He is 5-0 this year.
Who was his last loss?
Anthony Krantz. Oh, no, that's a grappling bout. Let's see. Brendan Allen.
Oh, Brendan beat him. That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
I don't remember that fight.
No, I remember that was Brendan Allen's stock's coming up this year.
No, I already know that. Me and Brendan, we hung out a couple months ago. But I don't remember that fight for some reason.
The way Kevin Holland fought last weekend, that might be his last loss for a while.
Well, so I thought when he was going to fight Jacare, I was like, I don't see that going good for him. And then before that, he had gotten lined up to fight, who was it, Hermanson? Or what's his name? Who was the main event, fought Marvin Vettori the week before.
That was Hermanson.
Yeah. So when I saw that get lined up, I was like, man, what are they doing? That dude's going to get killed. But then when Kevin Holland couldn't fight and Marvin Vettori got put in there, I was like, I actually think Marvin Vettori can win this fight. That dude's a dog. The only person he's really lost to is Israel.
Israel, yeah.
And even then, that was a good fight.
Yeah. Especially in hindsight, and Israel just kind of ran through everybody,
Yeah. Then nobody even talked about him. It's crazy how
he was a kickboxer.
Yeah, it's crazy how much stuff changes.
Yeah.
But
how long ago was that? Like, for real? Like, he went from being like a kickboxer to now people are talking about him being the pound for pound best.
Let me look that up. Huh. No, that dude's a monster though. And it was cool how, if you ever look into how and hear him talk about it, how he went through getting this process, because he got offered to go to the UFC 2 years before he did. He was like, he doesn't think he's ready. He doesn't want to come in here and lose, which ended up being good for him, because most people are like, I want to get to the UFC as fast as I can, and then
how much are you gonna pay me?
Yeah, and then you end up losing and you get cut or whatever, like I did. But when you're smart, and he saw the longer picture and got in there, and went out before he got in, worked on his wrestling, worked on his jiu-jitsu, and worked on his MMA totally instead of just doing kickboxing, and then came back later and was like, all right, I'm ready. And dude has looked unbeatable.
Yeah. No, I think we met him when we went to Australia. And
did you?
Yeah, because he wasn't in the UFC yet, but I knew who he was because he was a fucking amazing kickboxer, But
that's crazy. It's crazy to think that when Jason was fighting in the UFC, that Israel wasn't even in there, and now he's the champ. It's
Now he's the
crazy
champ,
that it
yeah.
changed that fast.
It changes incredibly fast. I mean,
Not even that.
Yeah.
Fuck, his teammate, Volkanovski, same thing.
champ. Yeah.
Same thing. He got in there way after.
Hooker wasn't far from being champ.
Oh, 100%.
They could have been all three of them.
Oh, yeah, they got a awesome team down there. All right, so he lost a kickboxing match to Alex Pereira.
Yeah, that's a different Alex Pereira. That's the he lost 2 kickboxing matches to Alex Pereira. One of them was close. One he got knocked out. But the one he
Israel did?
Yeah, one of them he was like beating his ass, then he got knocked out. One of them he lost like a close fight, I think.
Oh yeah, it does say KO. Huh.
That's the one where John Jones put up the picture of him. Because
Israel,
Israel, they had a Twitter exchange. So Israel put up a picture of John Jones, the mugshot, and he says, "Hey, try to find a picture of this of me online." So John Jones put up a picture of Israel Adesanya knocked out on the canvas, and says, "Try to find a picture of me like this online."
Hey,
it's pretty good.
John Jones won that exchange
For sure. Unanimous decision.
Oh no, that's a knockout. That's a knockout. I'd much rather have a mugshot. Take me to jail. Don't get me pictures of me knocked out. All right, Marvin Vettori, and at the time Marvin Vettori was 12-2. That was back in 2018, April 2018.
Not long ago.
No, not long at all. Man, how many fights has he had in the UFC? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 fights in the UFC already. The dude's been putting in work. That's one thing I like, is that he's not scared to defend that belt.
I think one of the great advantages he really has is I think he really believes that he can beat everyone in the division, And I think he proved that whenever he took that Yoel Romero fight he didn't have to take. I thought if there's anyone he's going to avoid, it's Yoel,
Yeah. No.
And he went after it even though Yoel was off a loss.
I did too.
He could have easily ducked that fight.
Easily. And then for some reason, I kind of had like a sneaky suspicion like Paulo Costa was going to give him at least it was going to be a hard night's work for him.
A lot of people thought that, yeah.
But and the reason why I thought that is because of how Israel fought Yoel and how Paulo fought Yoel. Paulo was not worried a bit about Yoel's power, and he'd walk in there and, now he didn't just piece him up, but neither did Israel. So I was like, all right, Israel's going to have some problems with him because off of that one fight where they both had that similar opponent. Mm. But that was not the case.
Yeah, I could see a lot of people. I think a lot of people came up with that same assessment. I think the big difference was that when Israel fought Yoel, I think Israel was extra respectful about Yoel's ability to take it to the ground. With his Olympic wrestling credential, the only guy that beat Cael Sanderson, beat him twice.
Yep.
So he's got. I think Israel fights different against wrestlers. He didn't against so even with Kelvin Holland or with not Kelvin Holland. We're talking about Kevin Holland, but with Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah.
In that fight, he got rocked a couple times. But I think the whole being worried about the takedowns changed his game a little bit.
Which I think has been his by far the toughest fight he's had. Which is crazy because
amazing fight.
Kelvin's lost a couple fights since then. Kelvin Gastelum, he looked amazing in that fight, other than when the last round, whenever he started kind of almost get knocked down and get pieced up. But other than that, he looked really good, and then since then he's gone on to not look so good. I wonder what he lost.
Didn't that fight stole some bonus money from you? I think.
From me, which fight?
Weren't you on that same card with Kelvin and Israel?
236.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was that one, and then Poirier.
Both
those fights. If it wasn't for them, you were the third best fight.
That was when I fought Randy Costa. Yeah. So we were the first fight of the night.
Yeah.
And Dana even came up to me and backstage when I was taking pictures after the fight, and he was like, "Man, that was an awesome fight, man. I appreciate y'all putting on the show and everything." And I was like, "Yeah, man." And then you were like, "Oh man, that's bonus money right there." And he comes up and talks to you.
For real, every time.
And then it was like that all the way up until the fight. And I didn't watch any of these fights. We were just out drinking. So we never get to the fights. Usually I fight a little later in the middle. We got to the fight, and it's still light outside. I'm the first fight. So when I get done fighting, it's still light outside. We're right across the street from the hotel. So we walk back to the hotel, and we're out drinking and stuff with our buddies and my family and stuff. And
I was watching the fights on my phone.
he was watching the fight. I didn't pay a single attention. And he was like, the whole time, I was like, man, you still got it so far. And then all the way up until the co-main event, which was Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. And he was like, oh, I don't think you have any more. And then the main event was even better, and that was Kelvin and Israel. But, no, since then, I mean, he still fought killer. So when people are talking about, man, he might get cut if he loses this next one, which if he does lose against Ian Heinisch, which Heinisch is good, but he's not top 10, top 5 good. But it's crazy how they cut somebody after they have 2 or 3 losses to top 5 guys. Like Yoel. Yoel's only losses were champs. So it's crazy that they cut him, which I understand they don't want to pay him all that money. He's kind of a gatekeeper, so they're just keeping other people from getting into title fights and changing up the division a little bit and changing up the matches. But he hasn't lost to anybody that wasn't good. It wasn't like he fell off completely, and he was still fighting good fights.
Well, the thing is, with Yoel, he's one of those guys you can almost make an argument that he's like never lost, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Every one of his fights is so goddamn close.
100%.
But the problem with Yoel, and I think this is the big problem, is the time that he fucking won the title. He beat Luke Rockhold by knockout in a title fight, but he didn't make weight. He just
oh, yeah.
He screwed up the whole division, you know?
Bro, that is right.
Yeah. So I think that's got to leave a bad taste in the UFC's mouth. And he missed weight for a title fight twice. One of them he won.
Yep.
You know, it just, like, why? You know, how could you do that, man?
Yep.
And Yoel, like, I that gave me this impression that he was huge. I never met him before then. When I met him in person, I'm like, how the hell did this guy miss weight? You know, he's not that big for a middleweight.
I don't know if I think I lied. I have met him in person. I can't remember, a couple times. Like, I didn't go up and talk to him or anything, but he's shorter than me.
Yeah, he's not that big at all, you know. And you're making 135.
I mean, he's got a lot more muscle than me.
Oh yeah, he's jacked. He's yoked up.
That's that Cuban meat.
Yeah,
but
Cuban genetics.
but
like Paulo Costa is legitimately huge,
bro.
Massive.
When we were cutting weight in California, I was cutting down to 135. I was fighting Kyung Ho Kong, and he was in their sauna the same night. I was like, how the fuck does this dude make 185? There's no way. He just looks like even when he was in there cutting weight shredded, I was like, that dude's got to be 220 right now.
Yeah, and the other thing about Paulo Costa is you notice how he wasn't like dehydrated. He looked healthy. He looked like he's just super disciplined. I
was in the sauna fucking acting like a little bitch.
Not really. You weren't too bad either.
Acting like a little bitch. And Paulo's just over there sitting down. Well, I'm saying acting like a little bitch. I'm over here like rubbing ice on my hand, ice over here by my mouth, and I spit it out. Yeah. He's over here just sitting down, cool, calm, and collected. I'm like, this dude right here, there's no way he's about to make weight. That dude's 220. He's got 35 pounds to cut.
Yeah, but he did most of his weight cut in the hot tub. He like hangs out in the hot tub all day, like literally just like all day, like a playboy, you know.
Well, I guess that's kind of different. See, I just don't want to do it all day. But I guess if you're not feeling it, then you choose your poison.
Whatever he did worked. Suck. He looked like really good on weight cut night.
Yeah, agreed. And that fight, I actually woke up on weight, so it ended up being good for me too. And I didn't feel bad or anything like that. I mean, like I said, my cuts to 135 have all been pretty easy, just because I know I couldn't cut any corners. And at 145, I can go drink some beers and eat some bad food and maybe skip some days running and conditioning and stuff. But 35, I don't do all that, so I make weight super easy, and I'm in really, really good shape. So it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think you and Costa probably cut more weight than anybody there, and you guys both looked like you made it better than most of them.
Oh, yeah. So that was the time because we fought in California where they said that I wasn't allowed to fight again because I was 1.5 pounds over the limit that, you can only gain back, 10%?
Yeah, you were a little bit over.
I was like 1.5 pounds over that 10%. They're like, well, you gotta do all this. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. We just won't fight in California again. But which hasn't happened. So
that happened to Costa too, right? It was like 5 guys in that card.
Yeah. Kyung Ho Kong got it too. He ended up weighing in more than me.
Yeah, I think he was less reserved with his water intake the next day.
Well, it probably all went to that leg the leg kicked a bunch and then got a loss.
Yeah, his leg got torn up.
But fights coming up this week. Who do you got? We're gonna pull up this card because this is a good card. For one, the fight that I want to see the most is the Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera.
Yes.
That is going to be a banger.
Yeah, that's a great fight. I like the main event too, man. Actually, there's a lot of good fights in that card.
Yeah, Chaos Williams versus Michael Pereira.
That's gonna be fun. Like, I don't know who's gonna win that. You know, who knows what they're gonna do? I just want to see it.
Rob Font versus Marlon Moraes. I can't pick some of these.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they got Greg Hardy, and you can't see it on here for some reason. I wish it would show the what the odds were, but Greg Hardy versus Marcin Tybura, and they got Marcin as the underdog. It's not on here. I just remember seeing it on TV. Like, why? Marcin's good.
I mean, Hardy has shown a lot of improvement fight to fight, but
yeah,
Marcin's good.
But not that much improvement. Marcin knocking fools out.
Yeah, Marcin's legitimate.
Oh, man. I forgot Anthony Pettis is on here against
Yeah, he's on the undercard. He's on the preliminaries.
Oh, yeah.
That's a preliminary fight. Can you believe that? That's awesome.
Yep. The Sajara Eubanks. I mean, I've never been big on her. She's won her last couple and looked good in one of them.
What weight is she fighting at now?
Bantamweight, my weight.
All right.
But she's fighting somebody 13-5. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, she was like killing herself trying to get down to the flyweight.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever made it.
Well, she had to win the fight 2 fights ago to stay in the UFC, and she did, and then she won the next one too. I was surprised. So I mean, she's
really good on the ground.
No, good to her. Yeah. Deron Wynn, he's a good wrestler. I think he lost his last fight. He trains out there with DC and all them at American Top Team. I don't know who he's fighting. Antonio Arroyo. Actually, I've heard that name. I don't know who.
I know Matt Arroyo.
Let's see. That might be who I'm thinking about. Oh, man. He's had like 4 fights canceled. Trevin Giles. I guess it's all coronavirus stuff because it's all 2020. Eric Anders. That's crazy. He was supposed to fight Kevin Holland back in 2019. He's had, so since 2018, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights canceled between the Contender Series and the UFC.
Maybe we should look that up if it was his opponents or if it was him.
Why would they?
That's a lot of fights that get canceled.
Out of all those 7, he's only, so those 7, there's 2 in between there. So 9 fights total, 7 that he couldn't fight. He's fought twice. He's 1-1 in those. That's crazy. So, I don't know. Deron Wynn, if he can take it to the ground, I'm guessing he's going to get it. I know Jimmy Flick used to be a 125er, went up to 135. He's from down south, I believe. He's fought a few people that I know. And then Cody Durden's from Atlanta. He's fighting at his first UFC fight. That's going to be a good fight. I'm going to pick Jimmy Flick in that one. I don't know the other people on the card. But from...
Carl Roberson's on there.
Carl Roberson's a beast.
Contender Series.
Yeah, he's from he trains out there with Steven Peterson then. Mm-hmm. So I
remember his fight with Ryan Spann on Contender Series. It's the only one I can think of in my head. It was impressive.
Yeah, he's teammates with Jeff Neal.
Oh yeah, Jeff's a beast.
Yeah, so they're gonna. I mean, Carl's. I want to say he's lost 1 or 2 in the UFC. 2 in the UFC maybe. Let me see. No, he lost to Marvin Vettori. That's right. He had missed weight the day before, and they were supposed to fight that day. And that fight day, he got sick, and then I guess a couple hours later, he was walking around all fine. So Marvin got mad, and then he missed weight. They pushed the fight back like a week or 2, and he missed weight again. And then Marvin Vettori finished him in the first round. I remember that specifically.
Yeah, it was a submission, right?
Yep, rear naked choke. But so yeah, Marvin's good, and Marvin's got that win against Hermanson now, which is huge for him.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
But the whole card from anywhere from Anthony Pettis up, straight fire, killers in there.
Who's Julian Robinson's opponent?
Tiala Santos?
I didn't recognize her name, but she's got a great record.
16-1. She's probably got some. They got her 16-1 from Brazil, so they got to have her against a jiu-jitsu.
Is this her first fight in the UFC?
This is not her first fight. This is her 3rd fight in the UFC. She's had a bunch of canceled fights too.
Oh, she fought Molly McMahon. I think I saw that one. Meatball Molly.
Meatball Molly. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
So she's 1-1 in the UFC, and She's fighting Jillian Roberts. Jillian fought, who was it? Monica?
Jillian fought, yeah, and Mickey, and Jillian's really good. She's been really impressive in her UFC run so far.
She fought. Oh shit! She
Yeah,
fought
she's been
Cynthia
killing it.
Gaval a long time ago. Whoa! I didn't know that. Cynthia's a beast.
Yeah, that was her debut, I think, right?
No, that was Cynthia's second fight.
I was
So-
talking about, all right,
She fought Hannah Goldie, who's from
Florida. That was her pro debut. I saw that fight.
on Island Fights. And
Yeah,
she
because they were
lost
looking
that.
at Monica to fight one of them. So then she fought Monica.
Then she fought Monica was 2-0 at the time.
Yeah,
Yep. So she fought Monica. Then she fought Mickey, beat both of our girls, and then she went to fight.
in the UFC.
No.
All right, now.
No. Then she went to fight Cynthia Gaval somewhere. I'm guessing down in California. And then Hannah Cyphers, who's in the UFC now too, and doing good.
Yeah, she's
And
good.
She lost to Gaval, then she beat Hannah Cyphers, and then she was on the Ultimate Fighter. I didn't even know she was on the Ultimate. Shows you how much I watch.
Yeah.
I don't watch much. So she was on the Ultimate Fighter, and then she beat Molly.
That was the same. She was in Liverpool. She fought Molly over there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we were on the flight together.
Yeah. I remember that specifically. She fought Macy Barber, lost to her. Yeah, I remember when she first got into the UFC and she didn't have a great record. I was like, man, what? But she's been beating people and making herself look really good lately.
Yeah, your ground game's sharp.
But aside from all that, the whole fight card, I'm most excited for the Marlon Moraes Rob Font fight and the Jose Aldo Marlon Vera fight. Those two are my fight of the nights.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Moraes, and I'm going to go with Aldo.
Moraes by how though? Because Rob Font's boxing is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I think decision.
But does he have the
3
takedown?
rounds?
Does he have the takedown defense? And Moraes has good kicks too.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm going to give Moraes a decision.
Moraes by decision, and then Aldo by what?
Man, here's the thing about Aldo. He has looked so sharp in his last couple fights at 135, but he's fought so poor, like bad strategy. You know, I'm not adjusting it. So that's the part that concerns me. The thing is, Marlon Vera almost never fights with a strategy. So I think that's going to favor Aldo a little bit. Because Marlon, he pretty much gives away the first round to almost anybody.
Super slow starter.
Yeah. He'll give the first 2 rounds away in a 3-round fight, and then just go balls to the wall round 3. I think that's gonna favor Aldo a lot, though.
That is a 3-round fight, which is good for Aldo for sure.
Really good for Aldo, yeah.
Because Aldo doesn't have.
Yeah, even when he was the champion in 5-round fights, he still didn't like to do 5 rounds.
Well, they said, I've read an article or something that he said that when he was making 45, he wouldn't even like cut weight correctly. He'd eat whatever he wanted to and just like cut it all at the end. So that was what was killing him. Now he's like cutting weight correctly.
Now he's doing it the right way.
Yeah. I guess once they saw me get to 35, like if he can make it, we can make it.
Probably.
Because nobody was trying to do that before.
Yeah.
But that dude's a beast. So I'm gonna go with on the Marlon Moraes Rob Font fight. I'm gonna go with draw. No, just playing.
That's a ballsy call.
Hey, with that being said, I really wish that I would have bet on the Mike Tyson fight because I knew it was gonna be a draw.
Yeah.
There was they weren't really judging that. Why would I not have bet on that? But back to this.
What were the odds on a draw like?
Probably pretty good.
Minus 5,000.
Oh,
Everyone knew it was going to be a draw.
I'd put $500 on there because we knew it was going to be a draw anyways. Yeah. Unless Mike Tyson just got mad and knocked somebody out.
I think he was trying to with a body shot.
Oh, he was landing. I definitely thought he won the fight, and then Roy just didn't do enough to me. And Mike looked fast. Mike looked real fast.
Mike looked good. I think a lot of, and there was a lot of, the commentary was kind of bad too. It was just like, it was depressing,
Yes.
It's like, oh, these guys are shadows of their formers. It's like, dude, shut the hell up. Mike Tyson looked great.
Mike Tyson was still going there. And I'm not saying he would beat.
I think that you put like a young journeyman in there with Mike right now, he probably knocks him out.
You put somebody in there that's, you know how they do in boxing. They kind of build you up, build your record up. You put somebody in there that's 10-0 or 15-0 boxing wise in there with Mike, I think he knocks him out. Now you put
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. All right. Marlon Moraes, I'm going to have to go with him, unfortunately. I don't know. I like Rob, but I'm going to go Marlon by submission. I'm going Marlon by submission. I think he takes him down and then submits him, which I know Rob's kind of hard to take down, but Marlon's got good takedowns, and he'll get him down off. He'll land a kick or something.
You got a really good top game.
Yeah. Aldo Vera. That's a tough one too. I think Aldo's gonna win if he uses the leg kicks. That's what kills me.
He ain't gonna use leg kicks. Don't even think about it.
He just likes to box these days. And man, when he used leg kicks, he was champ. When he stopped using leg kicks, he was not champ anymore.
He had that part of his brain removed.
What? I swear to God, he had. What do you call those things when you?
Lobotomy.
Yeah, he had a lobotomy, and they took out leg kicks out of his brain. Like he doesn't even know what they are. It is ridiculous.
McGregor gave him an Irish lobotomy with that left hand.
Well, he didn't. He wasn't.
No, he didn't throw that fight.
He wasn't. Yeah, he didn't throw. Because I remember telling people
all 7 seconds. I was waiting for it.
I remember telling people like, I want to see Conor have to defend these kicks if Aldo throws them. And then I guess he kind of did lobotomize him though. But
no, I think it was somebody was saying after his fight with Hominick, he slowed down on those a lot.
Well, I heard that was after he had that motorcycle accident.
That might be it. Yeah,
he had problems because even when I saw him hitting pads, he wasn't really throwing kicks. So I don't know if there's like something wrong with his leg or
there's got to be,
or he watched Anderson Silva and he just like fuck that.
Oh, that might be it, man. He might have been ringside. He got PTSD from that.
Fuck that, Anderson. Yeah. I'm gonna stick to this boxing. But
man, his boxing looked so sharp against Marlon Moraes, like his jab. But he just let Marlon win. He let him win. Like he was clearly the dominant fighter in that fight, but he let Marlon land more.
Bro, his boxing.
I couldn't believe
it. His boxing's always been good, but his boxing with his kicks is unbeatable.
Oh yeah,
unbeatable. Like he looked good boxing against Jeremy Stevens. Knocked him down with the body, or finished him with that body shot, liver punch. When he adds the kicks, though, nobody can stop him. That's why he beat Uriah Faber, why he beat everybody.
Yeah.
Korean Zombie. I mean, back then, he was just murdering fools on the legs. And who wasn't even calf kick? Imagine if those were calf kicks.
Dude, he needs to add that to his game.
He did. His last fight, he threw 2 calf kicks. I was like,
did he?
I can only imagine what that feels like because I remember what his thigh kicks looked like.
Yeah, Uriah's pictures the next day after that fight. Remember that?
Bro, I saw the video.
2 broken hands.
Like, yeah, 2
insane.
No. He broke his hands against.
That was Mike Brown.
Yeah, Mike Brown. But, so, all right. I'm going with Aldo because Vera's a slow starter. And if Aldo gets that first round, all he has to do is win one more. And I think he can pull that off. I don't think Vera can finish him jiu-jitsu-wise or with the submission. I think Aldo's got the better jiu-jitsu, but Vera's not bad there either. He's always going for something. He'll try to go for a standing guillotine on you, anything, just to put you in a compromised position. So I'm going to go with Aldo still. And then main event, I'm going the hands of steel, Jeff Neal.
Oh, yeah, huh?
100. I don't think he goes out the first round.
Nice. That's a hard one for me to pick. You know,
Wonder Boy is really good about using his range. And
that's exactly what I'm thinking. Elusive, lackluster win for Wonder Boy is what I'm imagining here.
Nah. I think he gets touched. If Anthony Pettis can do it, hands are still definitely going to do it.
Yeah, Anthony Pettis kind of launched off the cage.
I agree. It was a Hail Mary.
Yeah. And that's what Anthony Pettis does, though. So that's not a fluke. That's Anthony Pettis.
What? Yeah. I never call it a fluke.
No,
I hate when people say,
true.
"Oh man, that was lucky." Well, he threw it to knock the dude out.
Yeah, no, true.
So it's not luck.
But so if that was something Anthony never did before, you can see the point behind that.
No,
that's
100%.
That's the kind of stuff that made Anthony Pettis famous. You know.
The kick off the cage, which is like 10 years old now.
It's amazing. It's still amazing. Every time I see it, I got to watch it 3 times.
They just posted it like yesterday or the day before because it was like the 10-year anniversary of it, and I remember watching that at my apartment in the room, but I rewatched it like 8 times on my phone, and from 8 times every different angle. Like, so I watched it like 36 more times. man, this is fucking crazy. How do you even train to do that? Because back then, nobody was thinking about anything like that.
Well, they were, because Allen did it. Remember, Allen did it against Akiyama. He did the Superman
He did the punch.
Yeah, off the cage. But they were practicing that stuff up at Duke's.
Oh,
because Allen was up there with them. They were training together.
You're right.
Yeah.
But it's so much harder to kick when off the same leg you just jumped off of.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have the kids do it all the time now in class.
I know. I see y'all doing the warm-ups.
Yeah.
All right, so with that being said, switching over to Anthony Pettis, who wins that fight? Alex Morono is just like he's tough to finish.
I'm almost never going to not pick Anthony Pettis. I love that guy. It's
well,
because there's always a way he can win,
Sometimes it's not about who you love, though.
Yeah,
but I agree. I'm picking Anthony Pettis, too. I just think he's...
Oh, you have to be a legit badass for me to pick you over Anthony Pettis.
I think that he is... he's just technically better, but Alex Morono is... I don't see him getting a finish, though. I see it going all 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Marcin Tybura versus Greg Hardy.
I got to go with Marcin.
Got to.
Yeah.
I think he gets... I don't know if he gets the knockout. I think he gets TKO.
I think so too. Now here's the other thing too. I'm not ruling Hardy out because he is an incredible athlete, and every time he's fought, he's looked like twice as good as the last time. So when guys learn that fast, it's really hard to predict against him. I wouldn't bet against him until I see more of him. But
I'm probably gonna bet against him.
Yeah, but it'd be silly to not pick Marcin, I think.
I'm not hating on him because that dude, he has definitely gotten better.
Oh yeah,
I remember his last fight. I was like, man, I definitely thought that fight was not going to go like that. But Marcin Tybura is just too big of a step up for him.
Huge step up.
I don't really know the girl Jillian Roberts fighting, but
I think I saw her fight with
Meatball Molly, and they had that similar opponent. They both beat Meatball Molly.
Yeah, but Jillian killed her. And I think their fight was a little bit closer, so if I remember right. I saw it. I can't remember it clearly in my head right now, though. But I know I've seen all of Meatball Molly's fights.
All right, so who are you picking?
I'm going to go Jillian.
I'm going to go Jillian, too. And we're going to keep up with these stats so that people get to know who's better. I wish maybe we should start this next year, but we'll just go ahead and add this into next year.
Well, I'm going to start researching these before we do it. I'm in Matt Weibel's got like a little submission pick'em league. Yeah,
I was in that one year,
and I haven't researched one card. Every time I just do this, I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I remember this fight. Like I just put up like last minute. I'm terrible. Because I'm picking them all last minute. The ones I know about. So like I got Olivera. I almost got the bonus points in Olivera. Tony don't know how to tap.
Oh yeah. Oh, that looked nasty.
I picked Olivera by submission, and
let's talk
almost
about how
happened.
good he looked real quick before we get back to finishing this card. I mean, that dude's a beast. Under black horse of the 155 weight class for sure. I think he's doing better there than he was at 45. He's cutting too much weight. And I don't know. I mean, he's gotten to where I don't know. Back in the day when he was fighting, I can't remember who he fought. Let me look him up. But I don't know. I could kind of see him quit. This is before I was ever in the UFC. He'd get hit.
Got to be the Jim Miller ones that stands out to me the most. I think it was his first UFC loss when he fought Jim Miller, and I think that was hugely impactful on Olivera.
So I feel like he used to quit, and he doesn't really quit so much. He's the
Bronx.
The Bronx, yeah. Like I hear in every other thing, he's grown into himself.
God damn, look at that fucking win streak,
bro. But you got all the people that I'm talking about. I feel like he was kind of giving up in some of those fights. He just, but they were all against killers.
Yeah,
Max Holloway, Anthony Pettis, Ricardo Lamas. They were all top. And like I said, some of these were at 45. Ricardo Lamas, and then
he didn't even make weight in the Lamas fight. He was over by 10 pounds, and Lamas screw it, we're doing it anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Lamas is a dog, dude. He won't back down from anybody.
Is he still in the UFC right now?
He retired, man. He retired after he won his last fight and he retired. He was supposed to fight Ryan Hall, and then Ryan Hall backed out, and Lamas like,
why
"Go find me a fight."
Ryan Hall break out?
They didn't. I think it was probably something with coronavirus. It was this year. So then Lamas went out there, won his last fight, retired.
Well, look at this. Since he's been in the UFC, which has been a long time, holy fuck, he's fought everybody. He's been in the UFC since 2010. First fight, Darren Elkins. That's a dog fight right there.
41-second win.
41 armbar, 41 seconds.
Thought it was a triangle.
Maybe
it was armbar. Damn. All right, I thought it was a triangle.
Then Efrain Escudero. Yeah, that's right.
Back then, it was another badass.
Yeah. And then, so he's 2-0 then. Then he fights Jim Miller.
I'm pretty sure Jim Miller was in the top 10 back then.
And Jim Miller knee-barred him, Jim Miller's an awesome black belt.
But he was like, so the way Jim Miller got this knee bar, by the way, Olivera was tying him up in a knot. And he went for this leg lock, but he left his leg hanging out there loose. So Miller just jumped on it and grabbed this knee bar.
I remember that.
It was Olivera left that opening, but Olivera clearly had Jim uncomfortable on the ground. Like Olivera's ground game is incredible, even way back then.
Yeah. Then he fought Nick Lentz, who was really good back then.
What happened to that fight?
No contest knee, illegal knee. I remember that too.
Who threw the knee?
Yeah, it was Charles.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Then he fought Cowboy, lost by strikes in the first round. That's one of the ones
That's probably what you're thinking of, yeah.
The one where he kind of gave up. Eric Wisely, who I don't remember, calf slicer, one of my favorite submissions.
Ugh. Not a fan.
Jonathan Brookins, Darce. I mean, all of his punches then. I mean, all of his finishes then submissions. Cub Swanson. Look, he hasn't fought anybody that's a bum. Cub Swanson lost by punches first round. I thought he gave up during that too.
Another savage.
Agreed. Frankie Edgar took him all the way to decision and lost a unanimous decision. Then he fought Andy Ogle, Hatsa Huoiki, and then Jeremy Stevens beat Jeremy Stevens. That was on the Ultimate Fighter finale. Then he fought Nick Lentz again, finished him with a guillotine. Max Holloway, I felt like he quit that time too. It's when Max kind of had him, and he kind of like turned away.
Oh yeah,
he hurt his neck.
Well, I think that was he was saying he had a really bad weight cut for that one too. And, it's not a good excuse or anything like that, but
that's the one where he is in the middle of the fight and he something happened. He turned away and did that. But then he beat Miles Jury. The only people he's lost to are beasts: Cub Swanson, Frankie Edgar, Donald Cerrone, Jim Miller, and then he goes on like a 5-fight winning streak, and then he loses to Max Holloway, beats Miles Jury, then he loses to Anthony Pettis, Ricardo Lamas, and Paul Felder. So everybody he's lost to has been in the top 5 of whatever weight class they're in.
How did Felder beat him? Felder TKO'd him? I'm trying to remember that one.
Yep, ground and pound round 2. Now that one he did not give up. I remember that.
I don't remember that one.
That was the second round. I want to say he was like in half guard on the bottom.
What fight card was that?
That was 218 Holloway versus Aldo 2. He was in half guard on the bottom, if I recall correctly, and Felder was just dropping elbows.
I wonder if it was probably like local fights or something that night. I don't remember. I don't think I saw that card. I watched the Holloway and Aldo fight later.
Yeah, but so you look at who he's lost to. They've literally every single one of them has been top 5 in whatever weight, 155 or 145 at some point. He hasn't lost to anybody that wasn't top 5.
Yeah,
almost the champ. That's crazy.
And he's beaten a lot of guys in the top 5.
I want to say almost every single one of these guys has, almost all of them have fought for a title.
And this is 10 years, over 10 years.
10 years, and now he's doing it again.
And he's just now in his prime. How old is he now? Like 31.
30. Man, that dude is 31.
Yeah, I mean,
just turned 31.
Jesus, he's like just in his prime right now.
What?
This guy is gonna be such a monster in 5 years.
What?
Holy crap!
He might be fighting at 170 in 5 years.
Oh yeah, but that's not gonna be a problem for him. He's so damn good now.
They got him, or at least on Tapology, currently the third best lightweight. I wonder what they have on the UFC.
Yeah, they got him up there. I think they put him at number 3.
We shall see.
I mean, after that fight with Tony, did you get to watch it yet?
No, I did not get to watch it. And I'm kind of disappointed.
Oh my God, it was such an incredible performance.
Rankings. All right, here we go. Yeah, they got him ranked number 3. That's crazy. Yeah, he went up 4. He was 7th.
But that's a good raise though. I mean, he deserves a performance like that should raise you up. It's not just about winning and losing and like decision or finish or whatever. There's lots of guys that finish fights that like they they might have been losing the whole fight and then got a finish.
I agree with that 100%.
This was all right. This guy could be champ. That was
the guy
that kind
fought,
of performance.
Yeah. Just from the highlights I've seen, I believe that.
It's like, nobody. Everyone's talking about how nobody could let Khabib get him on the ground until they saw that fight. And they're like, maybe there's a guy that could fight Khabib on the ground.
Oh, I would like to see that for sure.
Well, that's what I always thought Khabib's toughest fights in order were Gregor Gillespie being the worst matchup for him. Then I thought Justin Gaethje would be the second worst. I was wrong. Well, maybe I was right, but he shut me up on that one. And then I thought Olivera was number 3.
Well, I still think Justin Gaethje if he would have fought like Justin Gaethje. I don't know. He just had a different game plan, whatever that game plan was. I think he should have just fought how he fought everybody else. You know
maybe, yeah, maybe.
But that dude, his coaches know what they're doing. So
yeah, for real. And man, Khabib just was in his face. Like,
100%.
I did not see. My thing was I didn't think Khabib would be able to close the distance on him like that and push him to the cage. And he just ran through everything Gaethje had and got right in his face. Almost the same way he fought Barboza. You know, like once he got him on the cage, he was able to eventually get him down. I just didn't see that happening. I knew that was how he had to win. I just didn't think he could do it. And he did it. And then once they hit the ground, that was the big question. If he got on top of Gaethje and was able to hold him down, how is Gaethje off his back? And, it's pretty clear there's a big skill difference there.
Oh, 100%. There's still some fights I want to see. Like, the lightweight division has the most matchups I want to see. I want to see Conor versus Poirier again, of course. But I also want to see Tony versus Michael Chandler.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I say Tony. Now I want to see Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. I had Tony in that until
they might do that. I bet they do that now.
I hope they do that.
Because they're going to give Tony a little break. He had 2 really rough fights back to back.
Oh, that arm's messed up.
Yeah, they'll probably give Tony somebody else with a couple losses up there in that top 15.
Tony will probably fight.
They might have him fight
Greg Ferreira or Ali Aquina, because Ali Aquina hasn't fought in a minute.
I was thinking Ali Aquina. They might even have him fight Gregor Gillespie because Kevin Lee knocked him out. Kevin Lee is another kind of dark horse, honestly.
Yeah, but he got finished by Tony.
Yeah, that's true. But they might have him do it again because it was a quick finish. There was all that staff.
There was all that. Yeah, he did that big old staff thing on his chest. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even know Benil Dariush was ranked 12.
He's still in there.
Hey, Drew Dober has been looking good. He's top 15. I would like to see him fight
beast
somebody up there in top 10. Paul Felder versus Drew Dober. That'd be.
He's so quiet, man. That guy's got to open his mouth. He's got to get his name out there more.
Hey, you're making people look like that with your boxing.
Yeah.
I want to see him versus Paul Felder. That's what I would.
Hell yeah, they got to make that matchup. Shelby, Sean Shelby, where you at?
Drew Dober, Paul Felder. I know Paul Felder retires, but
Brandon's making your job easy here.
Super easy. But no, so that's our picks for. Well, we got to finish the fight card. My fault. Finish the fight card, and then we'll call it for tonight. We were supposed to talk all about the horrible judging we've had in the past few years, but I guess we'll have to save that.
That's a whole nother podcast.
We got way out of line.
Yeah,
but this fight card is so good, is hard not to. Let's see who didn't we pick? Michael Pereira versus Chaos Williams. Who you got?
Toss up for me, man. I think I'm going to go with. I like Pereira's backflips. I think that's going to give him the edge.
I'm going with
Chaos. real life Eddie Gordo.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Chaos. I think.
Yeah.
Michael Pereira is a good athlete and does good, but I don't know. And I don't think. Chaos is 11-1, but I don't think he's shown much other than he had the one good kick against what's his name? Whoever it was that he fought. Used to fight for Island Fights. It was. Man, I can't even find it on Tapology. It's the one where the dude caught his kick and he spun.
Oh, he did that one?
Yeah. That was him. That was Chaos.
Right. Yeah.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. No, that's not him. That is not him. But Chaos has looked good in the UFC. Now I do remember who this is. He fought Alex Morano. Yep. And then Alisson. He finished Alisson quick. He's the one that was like just staring him down the whole time right before they fought. Like And even the commentators like, man, that stare looks kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alison's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's had a lot of fast finishes.
But yeah, so he's I'm going with him, Chaos Williams. Now that I got it right, yeah, I'm going with Chaos Williams 100%. I got first round finish.
That could definitely happen, but I think Pereira's going to backflip away from that in the first round, and then. No, for real, I think he's really talented. I think he's probably going to make some adjustments. He's made a lot of mistakes in his last couple of fights, but I think he can take a decision in this one, possibly. We'll see, because we'll see if Chaos can do anything after the first round. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to find that out. But you know what sucks? The fight that's not on this card that was on this card.
Yeah, Leon Edwards.
Because Edwards tested positive for COVID.
That's what it was, huh?
So they should just push it back a couple of weeks like they did with Kevin Holland. I want to see that fight.
Yeah.
That'd be a huge test for Kazmat.
Yeah, well,
my fault.
Right after the fight last weekend, Holland, he knocked out Jacare, and he got on the mic and he said, I want more. Give me Kazmat next week. Kamzat. It feels like the disease should come first.
Right. No, yeah, but I mean, they only pushed this fight back a week or two, so, I mean, maybe they'll be able to do that with this Leon Edwards. Yeah. But I know it's such a big fight, they probably want to build it up however they can.
I'm going to change my Pereira pick, though. I think I'm going to go Chaos also. I can't.
Don't be reneging now.
I got to, man. I just, like, he's going to do backflips. He's going to get tired. He ain't going to change.
Backflips and cartwheels.
He's got to lose. He's got to at least get knocked out before he's going to change any of that, I think.
I got you. Yeah. All right, well. That was fun talking. I hate we didn't get to talk about the judging and all that, but we will definitely do that soon. And because you've been to a few judging schools, if I'm not.
Yeah. So the ABC, they made new rules for scoring. The Association of Boxing Commissions, they developed a new scoring system for mixed martial arts back in like 2017. Basically because people were just doing whatever the hell they wanted. You know, there was no real set criteria for judging. They're just like, all right, well, you had to have, we judge it based on effective striking, effective grappling, ring control or octagon control, or whatever they called it, fighting area control, and then aggression. But they didn't really give you a formula for how to do it. It was kind of like everyone just had their own little formula. So you could basically justify almost any decision, you know? And it got to the point where it was just ridiculous. Even when guys picked the same fighter, nobody had the same score. So in 2017, they made a good decision to finally define how you score the fight. It's still really subjective, but it's better now. The problem is nobody's doing it. You know, they're all still doing their own thing. You know, so there's definitely a lot of issues that need to be addressed with it.
Yeah, and we've talked about a bunch of ways we think it could be better and not just go off the 10-point scoring system and all that. But we'll get into that another time. But just a little heads up for the next time we get my man Mike on here. But it was fun talking, man. And
Hell yeah.
I guess I'll see you in the gym soon whenever UPS lets me off.
Yeah.